this is James Byron. I teach guitar in Raleigh at the Asbury School of Music. Today we're going to talk about strumming. This first video is the basics of strumming. So there's a couple of things you need to get right before you can really build your technique strumming. The first thing you need to do is learn how to hold your pick. So I'm going to show you that first. So if you look at my hand, you can see I've got it. What I've got is I've got my thumb touching kind of the first knuckle of my index finger here. Like that, right? Kind of like that, right? Kind of like one of those puppets, right? And then I take my pick and I slide it right in there like that. Can you see that pick? Yeah, okay. And I want you to notice something. I don't have a lot of pick sticking out of there. It's not like this, right? Where I've got a lot of pick sticking out. I don't have that much pick sticking out, just a little bit like this. Okay? When you start doing some fast picking, that's going to help you a lot. Okay? So that's what I would recommend doing that. I'm holding it actually very lightly. I'm not holding it very tightly at all. Just tight enough to hold that thing in there. Okay? Okay, let's talk about strumming motion. When you strum, it's kind of like, well, just imagine it this way. You're testing some water that's on the stove, right? And you touch it and you go, ah, it's hot, right? Like that. See what I'm doing with my hand? See how my hand is real floppy, my wrist is real loose, and I'm just kind of doing that. That's what you want when you're strumming. Okay? You want your wrist to be very loose like this, you know, right? And your pick's in there, right? You got that, and then your wrist is limp. Your elbow, you can take your elbow and you can rest it right here like this. You know, just kind of rest it. And what you're doing with this hand is you are just letting your wrist do this thing, right? So if I'm strumming, I'm going. Okay. In fact, see what I've done is I'm leaving my fingers out here kind of loose. They're kind of dangling down here. It helps keep this in mind that I need to be loose. Okay. Right? Okay. Okay. Picking hand. When I'm picking like this, it's going to look like this. Okay. See that? See where my hand is right here like this? In fact, I can take my fingers. I can touch them on the pick guard I've got here. Right, to help guide me, and I'm doing this. When I'm strumming, I can't strum a chord and do that at the same time. See what I'm doing? Like that. See that? That's what I'm doing. Now, I want you to notice something with the pick. The pick stays rigid, okay? Okay? In other words, it doesn't do this. I don't have it doing this kind of a thing where it's, right, see how that's bent out? If I strum like that, I got this thing going on. Like I'm painting with a paintbrush. I don't want to do that, okay? I don't want to do that. So you want to learn this to begin with, that it's straight up and down like that, right? That's your strumming motion, and your wrist is doing the work, okay? So, when you're learning to strum, first thing you need to do before you try doing anything fancy is you gotta make sure that you can do a solid 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and strum. Okay, so like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and that's very important to be able to do that. Okay, you got to have a steady rhythm, and that's got to be in your hand, right? You've got to have that kind of ingrained in your hand. You have to have that steady rhythm ingrained in your hand, because this is the basis of everything It's the basis from which everything else comes. Okay, so if I'm doing some kind of fancy strumming, if I'm doing something like that, right, eventually you'll be doing some complicated stuff, right? But if I'm doing that, if I can't do this, just as even as can be, I've wandered out of tune, sorry about that. But if I can't do that, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and if I can't do that, then everything else is going to suffer. Okay, so that's the first thing to do. Learn what to do with your picking hand, okay, with your pick, holding your pick, and practice that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and it's going to pay off, okay. So next time we will talk about some other characteristics of picking.